Now we're going to talk about the sum of complex numbers. We're going to add two different complex numbers together. So when you look at the rules here, the sum of complex numbers, so we're going to start with addition. In the next video we'll do, we'll do addition and subtraction here together. But for addition, if they are added together, so this is a plus sign between an a plus bi, and we change the variable to a c this time because c doesn't have to be the same thing as a, so we just changed a and b to c and d, okay? But it's still a complex number in the same form, okay? So we take our real numbers, our a and c, and we add them together. The symbol between the two was a plus, so we're going to leave that plus there. And then we take b and d and add them together and put them in front of I. It's the same thing as if you were to add like 3x plus 2x. You add these numbers in front and you leave the x, so it'd be 5x. Okay, it works the same way with I. You can just treat I as a variable. So, and then with subtraction, let's talk about the difference of complex numbers. It means the sign in between is minus, so we're going to subtract. So we, instead of adding a and c together, we take a and we subtract c, because c is what comes after the minus sign. So it's a minus c, and we get our real number in our solution. Then you take the b and you subtract the d, and that goes with I, okay? So it's still, your solution ends up being, well, and instead of a and b, since we already had that in our problem, I'm just going to throw random letters in here, and let's say r plus si, okay, where these are our numbers. I don't know. Alright, so let's add and subtract complex numbers. So number 6, it has the addition symbol, so I'm going to take the real numbers from each complex number, because remember, this whole thing is a complex number, but I'm just taking the real numbers, so I have 2 plus 11, and it's going to be added to the numbers in front of our i's, which are, these are our imaginary numbers. So I'm going to have a 9. My symbol was a plus, so it's plus. And then I have a negative I. So a number is not written there, but that meant it's negative 1. Okay, the minus there means, since it's minus I, means it's negative, and if no number is shown in front, it means 1 is there. Because if I was gone, it'd be a 0, but I's there, so it has to be something. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this. If I add 2 plus 11, I get 13. My symbol is a plus, so I'm going to leave that plus. Oops. And then I have 9 plus a negative 1 is 8, and I still have the I on the end. Alright, let's go to 7. Now this time it's subtraction. So when I write inside my parentheses here, instead of pluses, I'm going to use subtraction. So I have my real numbers, 13, and then I'm going to say minus 8. And then I still put the plus there. And then I have a 4 minus, and there's a 4, and those are what's in front of I, so we still have I. And then when I do what's in the parentheses, 13 minus 8 is 5. 4 minus 4 is 0. 0i is 0, so it doesn't need to be in my problem. This is actually going to end up with a real solution. So these two complex numbers, the difference of these two complex numbers ends up being a real number. Alright, and then if we look at 16, or not 16, I'm sorry, 8, where it's 16 minus parentheses 13 plus 6i, and then plus 8i. Well, we can look at this as, so we're going to take, if I group those ones together, I end up with a 16 minus 8i, and then it had a minus in front of the 13 plus 6i. And then it looks like the previous problems. Alright? And so I'm going to take my whole numbers. The only problem is, remember, it has the minus in between. So in this one, I'm going to have 16 minus 13 plus. And we always put that plus in there because this becomes that a plus bi. Okay, that's where we're making a complex number, and so that's why I always just automatically put that plus in there. The addition symbol or subtraction symbol between the parentheses are what give the subtraction or addition inside my parentheses when I'm rewriting it. So, alright, just want to clarify again real quick if you were confused about that. Alright, so the constant or the number in front of I here is a -8. And then we're going to have a minus because that's the symbol in between. And then here is 6. Alright, so if I write this out, 16 minus 13 is 3. Plus, and I have a -8 minus 6. I'm just kidding. I don't know where I got that negative. This was a positive 8i, so I need to change this to a plus, which changes this to a plus. I am so sorry. Okay, so I have a positive 8 minus 6i, which gives me, oh, we had the I there, which gives me 2i. Alright, so, you know, in another way, if you wanted to do this, you could always look at it as like kind of combining like terms. So you could write out, let's just look at any of these again. So let's just look at number 8. I'm just going to work down here, so ignore that spot right there. Alright, and I had 16. If I distribute that negative to both terms, I get minus 13 minus 6i, and then I had that plus 8i on the end. If you look at any of these problems, with addition, you can just ignore parentheses. With subtraction in number 7, you distribute that negative, but then you would have no parentheses. It's just kind of combining like terms. If you think of I as a variable, okay, so that'd be 3, and then I have a negative 6i, and a positive 6i would be a plus 2i. So you can do these either way by grouping like we did in all of these problems, or think of it as combining like terms. Alright, so now go to your practice and do 21, 24, 25, and 26, and then move on to the next video.